I want to tell you the story of this character. And trust me, this doll's story is far from a children's fairy tale. There was a time when Lily didn't exist at all. There was Miss Gracie, an employee of Playtime Company, and her job was, let's just say, not the most ethical. Gracie was responsible for brainwashing test subjects, preparing them for cruel experiments on the lower floors of the factory. But the corporation didn't spare even its own. Just a few days before the infamous Hour of Joy took place, Gracie's own body was prepared as a template for a new toy. When the chaos of the Hour of Joy swept through the factory, others were less fortunate. They were simply killed. But Gracie, she was lucky in a different way. She was brought to the prototype, and he had a personal score to settle with her. The prototype tortured Gracie, and then transferred her organs into the body of a toy. She became the last doll created under the Bigger Bodies initiative. But the most terrifying part came after. Trapped inside the new body were two personalities. The first, Gracie, broken, frightened, but still alive. And the second, Lily, a new entity, born from pain, madness, and endless horror. Gracie slowly lost her mind. She began talking to herself, and they played her own brainwashing videos to her, over and over again, the very same ones she had once created for others, day after day, over and over. And one day, Gracie broke, completely. Her personality faded away, and Lily Lovebraids fully took her place. Now Lily lives in her own little world of madness. She lovingly tends to Gracie's old corpse, the body that once was her own. She hosts tea parties with her lifeless friends. She plays, she smiles, and it seems she's perfectly fine. While our hands shape the clay, let's talk about the creature we're creating today. And I'll warn you, this story is much darker than you might imagine. It all begins in the late 70s or 80s. At the Playtime Company factory, there was an orphanage called Playcare. Among the children lived a boy named Ollie, an ordinary orphan, one of many. At some point, Ollie caught the attention of Playtime Company's founder, Elliot Ludwig. After the death of his daughter Poppy, Elliot adopted the boy. You'd think a happy ending. But no. Before the adoption, Ollie was attacked, struck with a hammer. Elliot promised to take him to a better place. That better place turned out to be a laboratory. Ollie's body was intertwined with organic and mechanical parts. The boy became Experiment 1006. He became the prototype. The corporation deemed him an optimal result, the first and only successful experiment. Unlike others, he didn't even need food to survive. But Ollie quickly realized the truth. Elliot hadn't transformed him out of love, but to prepare for the resurrection of Poppy. Ollie was merely a test, a rough draft, a stepping stone. The boy was furious. But Elliot calmed him, promising Ollie would still be part of the family. From that moment on, he began calling himself the prototype. After Poppy's resurrection, Elliot Ludwig died under mysterious circumstances, perhaps at the hands of the prototype himself. He took his secrets to the grave. Police later found Ollie's remains at his home, but couldn't identify them. In 1989, the prototype escaped and hid in the orphanage. There he found Theodore Gramble, a troubled, lonely orphan. A strange friendship formed between them. The prototype encouraged Theodore to sabotage Playtime Company. The staff noticed the boy talking to someone invisible, but dismissed it as an imaginary friend. They were wrong. One day, the prototype tasked Theodore with opening the orphanage's service door using stolen grab pack equipment. The goal? To help the orphans escape. But Theodore was just a child. He overloaded the green hand and was electrocuted. And here something unexpected happens. The prototype, a creature born from pain and betrayal, sacrificed his freedom for Theodore. The door was open. He could have left. Instead, he carried the injured boy to safety and was captured by security. 2 years later, they met again, but Theodore had been turned into catnap. The former orphan now followed the prototype everywhere, like a lost puppy. And the prototype seemed to pay him no attention, or pretended not to. All of this was preparation for the main event. August 8, 1995. The hour of joy. While staff transported Kissy Missy to the orphanage, the prototype struck. Under his command, all experiments revolted, simultaneously, mercilessly. They killed everyone, every adult, every scientist, every employee. A massacre without exception. The bodies were dragged deep into the factory. The toys began feeding on them to survive. Playtime Company shut down. The outside world never learned what happened. But inside, a new nightmare began. When human bodies ran out, the toys turned on each other. Former allies became enemies. Everything left of the defeated was absorbed by the prototype. He grew. He changed. He became something greater. 10 years of silence, betrayal, and hunger within the abandoned factory walls. Until in 2005, the player returned. And here's our clay prototype, almost finished. Once an ordinary boy named Ollie, an orphan who wanted a family, and got this. Write in the comments, whose story from Poppy Playtime scares you the most?
while I'm sculpting with clay, let's figure out exactly who I'm creating today. This doll is the face of Playtime Company. Everyone knows her, but very few know what hides behind that sweet smile. Poppy is the very first and most popular toy the company ever made. Released in 1950, she could talk thanks to a pull string mechanism on her back. For that era, a true revolution. But there were rumors that organic parts were used inside every doll. That would explain why the dolls seemed alive. And the no returns policy protected those who didn't want the dolls to be taken apart. And the rumors turned out to be true. Poppy was created by Elliot Ludwig, the founder of Playtime Company, in the image of his daughter. When his daughter died, he created Experiment 1007 using parts of her body. He literally attempted to resurrect his child. And before that, he created the prototype, Ollie, as a test subject. After Elliot's death, the scientists discovered Poppy and began disassembling and reassembling her over and over again. On an old cassette tape, you can hear Poppy crying and telling her friend Ollie that with each operation she feels less and less like herself. She feels like just a thing. Ollie promised to stay by her side, but Poppy didn't know her friend was the prototype, her future enemy. Before the hour of joy, Poppy believed the prototype wanted to help the toys escape, so she kept his secret. But on August 8, 1995, the massacre began. Poppy heard every scream. She was devastated. After the slaughter, the prototype explained the toys would never leave the factory. If they were found, new experiments would begin. Poppy agreed. She became the leader of the survivors, found shelter. But when she demanded that the orphans be freed, the prototype locked her in a display case. 10 years of solitude. 10 years she spent plotting her revenge, until in 2005, the player returned. Later, Poppy came face to face with the prototype. She asked about the orphans. He answered he'd sent them to a better place. Poppy called him a monster. In response, the prototype squeezed her head so hard that the porcelain cracked. But when Lily tried to grab Poppy, he pushed her away and ordered her not to touch the doll. Even monsters have their limits. And here's my clay Poppy, almost finished. A cute doll with a bow. But now you know, behind that smile lies pain, betrayal, and 10 years of solitude. Write in the comments, who should I sculpt next?
here I come!
Hi! While I'm sculpting with clay, let's talk about the character I'm creating today. Meet Giblet, a little plush dog with a big heart and a very sad story. Originally, Giblet was a Playtime Company mascot, a cute anthropomorphic puppy with burgundy fur, big eyes, and a black heart-shaped nose. He was created to help children not be afraid of the dark. He was brave, confident, and always ready to protect kids from scary things at night. The perfect friend for any child. But that was before Playtime Company got to him. After the experiments, Giblet changed beyond recognition. His burgundy fur turned into dirty beige with stains all over his body. Stitches appeared on his body along with human veins poking through the plush shell. Instead of a nose, a metal piece held in place by a screw. One eye is hidden behind a black pirate patch, while the other looks at the world with a pink flower-shaped pupil. He wears a dirty green leather vest with a huggy-wuggy brooch. The brave mascot became afraid of his own shadow. And here's what gets me most about Giblet, his personality. After the transformation, he keeps repeating one phrase, "I'm not a hero." He's insecure, scared, and lost, but at the same time, full of hope. And that's what makes him truly alive. We first meet Giblet in Chapter 5. Broken things. The elevator crashes, a turnskin attacks the player, and Giblet comes to the rescue. Saves us. The very dog who says he's not a hero saves our life. At first, he doesn't recognize the main character, but quickly remembers. Turns out there are rumors about us among the toys. They call us the Playtime Butcher. Sounds great. Giblet starts asking questions, but then the sounds of hungry turnskins echo nearby. He decides to lead the players somewhere safe, to his home. But on the way, something scarier than turnskins happens. The prototype appears. Giblet and the player hide and freeze. Luckily, the prototype passes by, and you know what's most interesting? Giblet knows more about the factory than you'd think. He has a plan to destroy the prototype. A little plush dog who keeps saying he's not a hero has a plan to kill the most dangerous creature in the factory. And here's my clay Giblet, almost finished. He was once a brave mascot for children. Now, a beaten-up plush dog with veins under his fur and a patch over his eye. But inside he's still the same, the one who will come to help even if he's scared to death himself. Write in the comments, who should I sculpt next?